The- Wow, that's hilarious.
I love our intros. Our intros are
Yeah.
just our intros are always going to be legendary.
Yeah.
Hello. Thanks for clicking on our faces.
Hi, everybody.
We are here, the Trio of Destiny, ready to talk about the final episode of Gotham Knights. So the series finale is here sooner than we all expected it to be, but here we
Absolutely.
are.
That's
We
right.
didn't know. We
That's
expected
right.
to start this episode and say, and we what was going to say, season, and then we had to go series. And I knew it was official when I was on Instagram, and they said, and catch the series finale. I said, wow, they're really ending this. So we are here for
So
the last time for Gotham Knights.
Sorry, everybody. No more
Uh,
Gotham Knights. BO, because this was a good show.
it was a good show. Shout out to the silhouetted animator here with us the whole time for the whole
Yes,
show. We appreciate you. Let's pull up some of your comments here. Let's see here.
Let's get those
So
comments.
everyone missed the show, but they pretty much wrapped up most things and left it open and ended with Turner. I think that says Duella
Wait,
plus Two-Face. So yeah, disappointed Bruce was truly dead, though. Oh well. See, that's
but
the
look,
thing. I still feel like he could be alive. I just don't think that they had the time
but let's
to
get
go
to.
over
I mean,
it.
it looked like he's still with us because he said at least we saw Two Face, and that was his
Right.
latest
Oh,
comment.
that's
So
true. At least we did see him in all his Two-Face glory because they showed him with the thing. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Wait, hold on. Who's this?
this is our guy.
I know, but who's he saying? Henry Ducard? Is that the guy at the end of the episode? Is that who's the guy?
Oh,
Yeah, Mr.
okay.
Henry.
Not for nothing. Cause my mother saw this before me, right? She already gave me her report and everything. So when she was talking about and describing this guy, I said that sounds like Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's who I thought it was going to be.
Facts. He definitely gave
Okay,
me
so
the
everyone thought
whole
that too. Okay.
Ra's al Ghul vibe. He
And
definitely.
also too, and when he said not only did he train Turner's parents, but he also mentioned training Batman himself. So
Batman. So
that
he
gave
has
me
Batman
Right.
that
too,
gave
The
me
whole
that.
thing was like,
Mhm.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that whole thing just gave me Ra's al Ghul. Like, oh, this is where they're gonna go, and they're gonna train him like in Batman Begins.
Right.
Oh, come on, man. We gotta see that.
That has
We
to be like
know.
an alias for him or something because it just lines up perfectly for it to be Ra's al Ghul.
I really do.
But the beginning of the episode. So we we open up with our Scooby gang. They're being interrogated by the Gotham police, right?
She called them the
And-
Scooby Gang.
She's been doing it for the last 2-3 episodes. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Scooby Doo.
So
Not for nothing. Turner does seem like Fred. No one cares.
yes,
Yeah, because no
very
one
much
cares
so.
about Fred. That's why I was going to go through. Because Fred is boring.
Fred is cool with me, but they interrogate them, and our crew is trying to tell them about the court of owls and how they have been framing them, yada yada yada. But they don't believe. The police are like, yeah, whatever, book them, right? So
I mean, she probably thought these kids were on drugs because they kept saying there was a rock that brings you to life. You see, the lady was like, yeah. She said, yeah, all right, okay. You're in the attic for way too long. Get rid of them.
But the head police lady, she ends up talking to Turner, interrogating him, and telling him pretty much that she knew his parents and she was on their case. And he was like, oh, you didn't solve that one either, trying to be a little smart ass, right? And she was like, no, I actually was trying to save you because she spilled the beans that his parents were like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, pretty much. They were spies and
Don't do
assassins.
that. Don't do that. No, Mr. and Mrs. Smith were smooth and cool. These guys were just klutz. That would never have happened to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Just want to say that.
If they were going up against Batman, it would.
Stop. Carry on, please.
Poor Brody third wheeler.
No.
It's just
Hold on. No. I gotta disagree with Mr. Sill. Mr. Sill, I gotta sit here and say Brody is very interesting. I mean, first off, his character got way more dimension than Turner, and I just want to mention also too, Did anybody else laugh when he was wearing the jacket and it looked like the jacket was fighting his chin? Like I gotta sit here and
That's
say, like
We
this
are
hilarious.
was
not going to talk about this young boy like that. I will say that he is very interesting.
he
I
is
think he's interesting. So
way
yeah.
better. I would prefer him more as Batman than Turner. But carry on.
Dang. So
Wow.
okay. They she tells him about his parents. He's in disbelief, but she shows him the evidence and that the person who was hiring him was this gentleman from the comments that silhouetted animator helped us out with Henry
Henry.
Ducard.
I
Mm-hmm.
thought that said
Ducard.
Dracula actually, but yeah, there we go. That's not even more interesting. But
That
carry
guy
on.
kind of does look like Dracula, though.
He
Don't
looked
he?
like something. He looked like a villain. So they perfectly cast.
It's the facial hair.
What's it called? What was the dude from Truth? What was his name?
Wario? Oh, Jack.
Yes,
Yes, Papa Jack.
Oh, shit.
from Hawkeye, guys.
Yeah.
So
Word.
now they lock him up, but then it just so happens that the Owls they send the crew to
Oh
go
my
take out
God.
the police.
4 of them.
Yeah,
4
all
of
four.
these killers. One
The
of them had a
immortal
claw.
killers.
Yes.
The
And
talons,
the
that was crazy.
Yes.
That whole thing. This lady straight up resurrected all of the talons that were dead already and brought them back.
Oh.
And it was like a talon squad. Like,
I was wrong.
that was nuts. I was expecting Mr.
I was wrong.
Mr. Clean Cut to be the talon. You know what I mean? That's what I was expecting to see. But what? This lady went in.
She definitely did.
Well, she had to make sure her name was clear, so she threw up all the stops out there. I thought it was 4, but seeing now that it was 5, I didn't. I was woof. She really went out there.
She suck them on the Gotham police, and it just so happens, of course, our crew is locked up there. They're in jail, in prison, and for whatever reason, the police chief runs to these teenagers and like, hey, what do we do? Right?
Yeah.
I gotta sit here and say that this made the GP whatever. They made these officers look very useless. Let's run into the people that we just threw in jail, a bunch of teenagers. What did you guys do? And then when they're like, hey, let us go. Why should I trust you? You literally just ask them for help. So I seem like what are you talking about, bro? Who
wrote that in? AI?
I don't. Maybe what's that thing called GTPS or something like that? It's a
Chat GPT.
Yeah, Chat PTS. They said, yeah, that's a good idea. Pay me.
So they let them out and they were like, yeah, give us all the weapons you
No. Can I go back? Can we go out? Okay, you was getting to that point because I wanted to get to that point because Turner, everyone know my beef with Turner. I'll say for the last time, Turner sucks. And when he says, you was mentioning, let us get our items from the Batcave, and she's like, why should I? And he goes, because we're the Gotham Knights. I said, shut up. I just want to get that out.
He had to say the thing. It's the name of the show.
Well, this was the only time they were going to be able to say it.
Right. One shot. So they let him out. They give him the weapons in record time because the Talon are still there fighting against the police. And they come out and the weapons are like, swords and like, I don't know what the heck they had together, but really old timey weapons that you wouldn't expect to be in the Batcave. But they're fighting the Talon, these immortal trained warriors, and they got freaking Stephanie Brown.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. I told my mother, I said, I believed Turner. I believed Robin, Brody. And the twins, I was a little bit surprised by the twins because I didn't see the brother do much, but I was like, that was believable. But Stephanie, chess playing Stephanie, brain quiz Stephanie, she was holding her own with this trained killer. I said someone knew that this show wasn't going to make another season and said, you know what, the hell with it. Because that didn't make any sense to me. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that bothered me.
It bothered me too. It didn't make much sense at all. Yeah, Colin was out there kicking and nobody recognized him without his mustache at the station as much as he's been up and down.
No, well, not the other guys, but the captain did.
Oh, I didn't even see that part.
He recognized him. Even when you look at them, when they went to last week when they went to the jails, he noticed him off rip. He did notice him. He looked at him, almost couldn't believe it. He knew. He
Oh,
knew.
okay, writers, you got me there.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure. Yeah, because I think I would have been upset if they made the black guy look stupid. I would have been I would have been really upset.
But
I feel you on that.
so they ended up, kicking some talent A, but our girl Robin, her mom is there. She's a doctor. She has to help people who are in need. And there was this one officer who was, clearly in need of some medical assistance. She
Right.
goes over there to help her, but unfortunately, that put her right in the airway of this talent, and he came and stabbed her right on through. So it was looking bad. It was looking bad for our Mama Robin.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So Robin sees, for whatever reason, she didn't, act in time. She did end up shooting the talent, but not in time to save her mother from being stabbed. Flash over, we're in the hospital. Robin's trying to get her mama together, and the rest of the Bat crew minus Brody go back to Brody's father's apartment or whatever on the 13th floor, because they're like, okay, there's a reason why they sent the talent to take out the bomb squad of the LA of the Gotham PD, right?
Yeah, LA.
I always say LA.
I was sitting there saying, why'd you say LA?
The Gotham PD. So they get there, and all of the bomb stuff that was there, all of the containers that were there before, missing, gone. And there's only one left, and it's got like a little bomb on it. And they're like, yo, what the heck? What's going on? They were able to deduce that the missing items were the other bombs. So there are other bombs around the city that are set to go off because Mama Owl is trying to cover her tracks. She's trying to get rid of all of the buildings that have any evidence of her being, Mama Owl.
Yep.
So
the mother of all the owls.
Yeah, one owl to rule them all.
So wonder. I like his comment above. He said, "I thought that they were going to split up, and you thought that because our friend here keeps calling them the Scooby Doo gang. So that's exactly why.
Fred splits up the group every time.
Fred was always very nasty because notice that he always sent Shaggy with the damn dog.
Yeah,
he always
took the ladies to himself.
He always took, and then when he was tired of Velma, he said, "Yeah, go with the guy with the dog." Because every now and then it was just most of the time it was him and Daphne. But carry on.
Yeah, facts. So
I gotta see more of that show.
We also see that Duella is chained up next to a bomb, next to Harvey. So I kind of we skipped ahead a little bit, but Mother Owl, she brings in Harvey. She's like, look, you either run away with me or you die, pretty much. And you not only do you die, but your daughter dies. He brings in Duella.
Just ruthless.
Yeah, she's so thirsty for this man. I'm like, golly, what did he do to her? What did he do to these women?
He laid the Harvey. The Harvey D.
He laid
and listen, and not for nothing. And listen, not for nothing. Regular Harv is boring, right? But when he was like, yeah, so you want to have a good time, eh? That's what she was starting doing. Because when he was sitting there saying, where am I? Oh, this is Harvey here. Harvey live? Harvey live in Gotham City. Woohoo!
So, yeah, she was pretty much like, look, yeah, you don't love me. This isn't the Harvey that loves me. Bring out the Harvey that I want, pretty much. So she's threatening him, like, if you don't bring out the crazy Harvey, then you're going to die and your daughter's going to die.
That's right.
So he's grappling with that decision. Also, they discover that not only are there multiple bombs in the city, but they're all kind of linked to the one bomb that's where Duella is. And they're like, okay, Duella, don't press it. Because she's, of course, anybody, myself, I would be like, look, if I stop this bomb, I won't die.
Right.
You want me to hold off and hope and pray that you guys make it here on time, or I can cut the bomb off and all of the other bombs explode, but mine won't. I would have.
Now, but the only thing was because then they talked about that because I get that mindset, but they were saying also if she was to do that, it would have set off those other bombs. She'd still be alive, but she takes the fall.
They already think she's guilty anyway. They already think she's guilty of killing Batman. She already on the run. God damn it! I would have been took that train off.
Well, I mean, not enough to see. I worked with you for many years, and hearing that you're a Red Hood fan, I know. I already know. Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta look out for yourself, man. You gotta look out for yourself in these situations. But she decided to she wants to turn a new leaf. She doesn't want to be like her mother, who turned her
Right.
in, by the way, who turned her into the mother
Yep.
owl.
I actually
Yep.
like
um,
the scene.
what?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was gonna say I really like the scene. I like the scene because you got to see how vulnerable that she is. You know, she has trust issues. She has all this stuff, and she has this moment with her dad that she doesn't know, right? And he's
Hmm.
pointing out because she already said, "Oh, I don't even know why you." She said something earlier to point out like I already shot him, so he doesn't care about me. But you see that how much he does care about her, and even mentions your mother sold you out. I wish I knew you earlier. And if I was here, if I was in your life earlier, your life wouldn't have been so crappy. I would have made sure to protect you, but I didn't know that. And I'm going to get us out of here. And you can see, like, when I see her tear up, you can see the good in her. I think it's
Yeah.
I don't think I'm putting the right vernacular in, but you could just see how there's a trust there because she doesn't trust anybody,
Mhm.
but she
She
has
wants to
reason
be
to.
loved. That's what it is. She's missing that love in her life, and that's probably why she's clinging to Turner like he's her last hope. When she really needs the love of her daddy, and now she kind of got reintroduced to her dad, and
Right.
he's telling her that yeah, I'm going to be there for you now, and she's receptive to that. So that was a beautiful moment.
It
But
was.
she should have. I would have definitely turned that bomb off so we could live. But
Yeah, we gotta see evil.
yes.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like one thing that I appreciated about that whole scene was the owl lady, because
Uh,
I think she had a very interesting take on what immortality would be like.
Hmm.
Like when she was talking to Harvey, she was just all like, "There's been several marriages, several fake marriages, several this, several that throughout my 200 years, but never have I ever it's always been me ending up alone. No matter
mhm.
all the things that I did, I always ended up being alone." And
Hmm.
then, it's interesting because um at 40, I already see that like a lot of the things when I was young is over with and done, right? So like imagine if I was 140. I don't
Mhm.
know. I think that I
You
would
know?
be miserable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I think I would be miserable because I would be remembering like double Dutch when we got flying cars. You feel me? Like
Mhm.
so like
I love it. I love his rage.
you know what
Goddamn flying cars. We had
I mean?
double dutch, and
Word up.
we play hopscotch, and we use chalk, not
For
that
real.
high tech stuff.
Yeah,
And that's probably why she was clinging to Harvey too, because she's like, okay,
exactly.
this is a feeling that she doesn't get anymore or hasn't gotten
Hmm.
in a long time, and
Hmm.
he's giving it to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's crazy. She's a crazy
I
woman.
honestly think that was the only time when she was sincere about anything. Her actual love for Harvey. That's the only thing that was real about her. Everything else was just
Yeah.
hidden in kitty litter.
But Duella hit the nail on
What?
the head when she was
What the
saying, "Oh,
hell you
she's
just
going to get
said?
tired of you."
What
Just like she got tired of her husband,
the
may not
fuck
be
you
tomorrow,
talking
but
about?
it definitely she's gonna, one of these days is coming. Um, but our crew, they when
Yes.
they're on the phone with Duella, they're like, "Look, don't disarm the bomb. We're gonna figure it out. We got to get, make sure everyone is safe, pretty much,
Right.
right?" Um, she agrees not to do it. Harvey, though, he's like, okay, if you're not going to do it, I got to find a way out of here. So he allows bad Harvey to come, and that's when
I
we
love
get,
this. I'm sorry. When he wakes up and he says, "Where am I?" Harvey, Harvey, Harvey. Hey,
hmm
kid, like that. Once he
Yeah, he
went to
definitely
that
puts on an
zone,
accent.
I don't know. I was digging it,
That
especially when he
was
got into that like really into the character, getting the voice and everything.
yup,
Yeah,
that was great.
and Mother Owl comes back. She sees that her little boo Harvey is back. She unchains him, and he's trying to put the moves on her real quick.
Hmm.
And he turns on her. He's like, "Yeah, you thought I was gonna let you do it." I forget what he says, but pretty much he turns on her. A
Easily.
fight ensues. A struggle happens, and she's got this little vial of acid conveniently out and ready for anyone to grab for whatever reason. And she
Hmm.
It's
knocks
called
him.
convenience. It's a superpower. Convenience.
Facts.
Yes, like who just has this acid just out and labeled in a damn petri dish or whatever it is that it was in a.
You don't have one just
Well, I mean,
randomly prepared.
you got to remember,
No.
though,
You're not prepared.
they were in the 13th floor.
Uh-huh.
They were in the secret
Oh.
floor. So for that kind of stuff to be laying around, that's normal
But
Oh.
just
for the
out with no
13th floor.
cap or nothing, just there.
Hey, it's the 13th floor. Nobody ever goes there. It don't matter.
I guess. What
right?
happens on the 13th floor stays on the 13th
That's
floor.
right. The
Yeah,
13th floor
like half of
is
Harvey's face.
Vegas. The
So yeah, she
13th floor
smacked
is
it up
Vegas.
against him. Boom,
Mhm.
acid on the face. So we did
Facts.
get the question answered
Two-Face.
whether or not they'll do the Two-Face,
Mhm.
proper, and
Right.
they
You
did
know, I
acid on the
wonder.
face.
I wonder if it was necessary now.
I mean, I
Whoa.
don't
You
think
know what I mean?
they knew. I don't think they knew that this was going to be their only season. I think they
See, now,
definitely had a direction.
now here's the thing though, because artificial intelligence is telling me now that they're still trying to pitch the show to other networks.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Really?
Yeah, because the whole reason why it went down is because they were basically trying to sell it elsewhere and nobody picked it up. So it's still out, it's still like on the table for somebody to pick it up if they want to.
Who
Because
will
it's
pick
still
it
like
up? Netflix?
Which
let's
would be
see.
what would be that wouldn't be
Let's
bad
see.
if a streaming site that would be the part for the better. I would think so.
Yeah, no, I
If
mean,
if
okay,
I'm
look, despite its cancellation, Gotham Knights has a small but dedicated fan following. Hello. And
Mhm.
some fans have expressed the hope that the show could be revived on another platform, such as HBO Max, Peacock. However, it's unclear that this will happen. And mind you,
yeah.
it's still June. It was in the beginning of June that this decision was made. So,
Mhm.
what with that being said, I think that this whole situation is still fluid. And hopefully, maybe I'm being overly optimistic, right?
There's nothing
But
wrong with that though.
hopefully, somebody else might pick this up because
I
I
hope
think it's well deserved.
HBO Max picks it up because they're no longer doing Titans, so there's that
Mhm,
gap of superhero content that
I
they
think
want to
mhm,
fill with this.
HBO Max would be a perfect fit because that's already DC. That's like almost there.
mhm,
DC used to have
mhm,
their own streaming site. I forgot what it was called, but they had their own streaming site, and then they just put it with HBO Max, which
mhm,
is now Max. Now the possibility of that being, when you said all that, it reminded me of Young Justice. They went for 2 seasons on Cartoon Network, got canceled. I forget how many years it took. I mean, I would hope it wouldn't take this long for this show, but it took them some years and a lot that dedicated fan base that as you speak about, and they brought him on a streaming site, and I think that would be a better move than putting it on a network. I think that's just a better
mhm.
move. So if they do it, I say put it on Max.
I
Fact.
hope so too.
And
Yeah,
That's
they
very
did.
interesting news, Vic.
Yeah, I had no idea.
yeah. I just asked the Bard, and I'm just like, hey, and they gave me that information. That's the power of artificial intelligence, ladies.
Hey.
There we go.
So,
I'll pass the word to my mother because cause she was making some calls and I don't know. And I kept asking, "Who are you calling?" And she said,
the head of the network.
I don't even know what this means."
CW, CEO.
Mhm.
I wish I knew she had this number because I kept saying, "Why didn't you do this for Black Lightning?" And she said, I've already told you too much." I said, "Okay, whatever,
So
ma."
the fight happens. He gets knocked over the face, but our crew gets there just in time. They were able to, get Dwella an attack from the bomb.
Yes.
They unfortunately though they couldn't stop the bomb from going off. So
Well,
they're
no,
like,
that was
okay,
the
we gotta
whole.
evacuate. We gotta get the hell out of here, right?
But that was the whole
Mhm.
plan. They knew that because
Is
this
that
one
what
bomb.
goes?
Yeah, like if one bomb went off, the other ones they wouldn't go off. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why they only went for that particular one. And that's
So
why they only had that amount of time. Go ahead.
yeah, they decided to, you let it go off. They're trying to evacuate the building. As they're leaving out, Turner has this moment of, my dad's journals are here, right? I gotta
Right.
get them because they're my last connection to him. He's like, okay, you guys go ahead. I'll go back. I'm going back for the journals. I'll be there. So he runs. He runs to whatever the place it was at where the journals are, right?
It was like all the way at the top floor because that's where
Mhm.
everything first happened. That's when they threw Bruce out the
Yeah,
goddamn
Bruce
window.
out the window. Then he
Yeah.
finds a bag, stuffs all the journals in there. He's in the lobby running because they're like, "Yo, Turner, where are you?" And Dwella's thirsty ass wasn't even trying to let him leave. I'm like, just let this man
Mhm.
go, girl.
Thank you. Right. You can find some other boring guy.
Facts.
There are plenty of men in Gotham, and she's just so obsessed
Yeah.
with him for
I
whatever
mean, it's not
reason.
guaranteed that they're alive, but there's a lot of them.
There's some criminals.
Yeah, there you go. Some of them
So
not alive.
so he's in the lobby running, about to meet up with him again. But then he gets shot by none other than freaking
Mama Owl.
what's
Mama
her name?
Owl.
Mama Owl.
Who
She's still alive.
the mention because Silhouette he did mention what made him cringe when she had the electric. What's it called? The that rock thing because it was put
Yeah,
into
like
her neck.
Electrum.
Thank you, and it made her because we all thought she was
Oh
dead.
yes.
I
Uh-huh.
wanted to throw that in that little piece, but we all thought she was dead because too much of it. And Brody was the one who did it.
Her son.
Yeah, I mean, good because I mean she did him dirty. So
Yeah,
good
he
for
got his revenge, or at
I mean,
least, some poetic
I was
justice.
yes, I was glad. I was really happy for the Crimson Chin. He took her out, and we all thought that she was taken out. And boom, she comes back alive and said, "Your father ruined me, and now I'm going to ruin him." But
Hmm.
then,
But you know what? Before that, that did kind of answer the question that we had last week. Is why
sure,
is it that Electrum didn't cause Brody to, have, side effects as far as radiation and stuff like that? And he said they kind of alluded to the fact that if you take too much of it, you'll have negative side effects, which is why she was presumed dead when he put her with all that Electrum. But if you take the right amount, it'll just bring you back and you'll be fine. So the amount
Hmm.
that she was going to use for Harvey to turn him into, an immortal or whatever, they found that amount, and they're going to give it to Robin's mother so she can survive in the hospital.
mhm,
So there's that. But okay, so Mother Owl is alive. She shoots Turner.
barely.
Yeah, barely alive. But just as she's about to give him the death blow, everyone gets shot up. All of the talent, everyone, and we're like, oh my god, what's happening here? There's a squad of some other squad. I want to say they're speaking French, and they're like,
Uh,
oh yeah, we
uh,
got him.
they call it El Lagon or something. I can't think of. I don't have nothing in French. El Le Pew.
Whoever they are,
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew or something, right? They're there,
Don't do that to
and
him.
just in time, because the building comes crashing down, the bomb comes crashing down. Our Scooby Gang are upset because they think Turner's in there, and as far as we know, he's still in there. Um, then what
Oh.
happens after that, guys?
Well, right after that, I mean, these guys, their names are cleared. We get the great news that Robin's mother is well because they use the electrum on her, so she's well. There's this really great moment because all of them are in the hospital, and that was a great point that he pointed out because I have no idea who this character is. I'm gonna look him up after the show. Um, but they're at the hospital with Robin. I thought this scene was really cool. I became a big fan. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering here. I became a big fan the last few episodes of Colin because it just showed the heart that he has. He's a really good dude. He's about family. So when you see the officer, the captain, he comes in there and he talks about he's a he was a better fake police officer than the actual real officers, and
Mm-hmm.
he gives him this hug, and you see him get very emotional because Colin's a softie. He's a big softie.
Yeah.
He's about
Mm-hmm.
he's like Dom Toretto. He's about family. So and this is stuff he
Hmm.
never got, and now he's getting all this stuff that he wasn't getting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
After that, before we get to the real end here, they're at their little
The
hideout at
Baddick.
the Baddick. They were in the Baddick, and they're packing their things, and now the names are clear. And it made me interested too because I wasn't sure. I remember us talking before, and I was like, "Well, how would they go for season two? I think this is only the best. Season one is the only one." But it does add some intrigue to me because I'm like, now their names are cleared. How
Mm-hmm.
does the show go on now with their names cleared?
Well,
And I
no,
mean, everyone
new
and
villains, a relationship
right,
with
but
some
even
girls.
even and right with all that stuff with Two Face, there's a lot of I get that, but still the dynamic. The dynamic was they were always on the hideout. Now everyone knows that they're the Gotham Knights, so I think that still adds an interest. And just to finish up this part, and then we'll get to Turner's little part. Um, you see, Delia, she's like, "Oh, now y'all gonna go back to your boring, crappy lives."
Hmm.
And they're like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do?" And everyone kept saying things they were gonna do. I forget the sister's name. Uh, uh,
Sharper.
Hopper,
Harper.
Hopper, yeah, Hopper. She's talking about going to school. Stephanie was
With
talking
what
about.
money?
They'll figure it out. And you know what? She has the power of convenience, so I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell
Cash.
you. Yeah, I wish I had that. I wish I had that every day. Um, but she's going to school. Stephanie was talking about her mother. I think she's in the hospital. I don't know if it was a hospital or rehab. I forget. But then the father, he has all these cases against him. So everyone's having these things. But then like I was mentioning, Delilah, she mentions you're gonna go to your boring lives, and like, what do you want to do? And she said we should keep the Gotham Knights going because that's what Turner wants to do. Because she said it. I don't care about these people. I care about Turner, and he would want us
She's
to keep
a
going.
mess. A
Yeah.
mess. Anything that boy wants, she gonna make it happen for whatever reason. So yeah, she definitely wants to keep the Gotham Knights together,
Mhm.
and that's where they left off with our Scooby
But two
Gang.
parts. Oh, okay. No, finish. 'Cause I was gonna say there's two parts, but carry on.
And that's when we are in this new area, this wealthy driveway leading up to a mansion, very swaggy and nice.
Mhm.
And Turner gets out. Turner gets out, and I'm thinking he's back at that some Bruce property. But this other man comes out. This other equally as wealthy, possibly man, very well off. He
He's
comes
richer
out
than me.
and he's telling him, "Oh yeah, I see potential in you." And Turner's like, "Who are you?" And he remembers that his face from the station, because that's the guy who hired his parents to kill Batman. So we get that ending. He's being taken in by the guy who trained his parents to kill Batman, but also trained Bruce Wayne. And what
Ooh.
was his name again, guys? Henry Bacard or
I was,
Descartes or something
I
like
was, I
that.
was going okay. So Le Pepe Le Pew.
Yes. But yeah, that was the episode. That
But
was the
real quick,
series
Fact.
finale.
that is the series. But I do want to throw this part out because this wasn't the end for Harvey. Harvey,
No.
he went and Jane Doe, who turned in her daughter for that $10 million, he sat there and he said, "Oh, so you turned your daughter in?"
Mm-hmm.
Flipped the coin, same coin that saved his life, and he
That's
flipped the
the
coin. He
secret ingredient.
said, heads you live, tails you die." There we go. Yep. And it was tails. And even though we're not getting to season two, she wasn't gonna make it to season two
Yeah,
because
Shutter did. But yeah, that was the episode series finale.
Facts.
I enjoyed this series. I feel like
I
it was
did.
cute. I feel like it definitely deserved more than what it got. But I'm satisfied with the ending. Like even if we got to see that Turner in fact wasn't dead, if they left that as a cliffhanger, I would be upset. But we got that said, okay, he's fine. Pretty much all of the questions that we had were answered. They tied up everything pretty nicely, like you said. We got our Two-Face, we got Jane Doe gone, we got our crew still deciding to become the Gotham Knights or continue being the Gotham Knights. So even though it's a premature end, I feel like it was a good end.
I
What
agree.
do you guys think?
in the
Oh,
beginning, I wasn't a super fan. I thought the first three episodes were. I was ready to tap after the first three episodes, but as the show progressed, I became a fan. I thought there was a lot of action. I think the cast had great chemistry, and I would have been interested for a season two. I would have been down for a season two. And yeah, for the last time, Turner sucks.
personally, I thought that the show was gonna be bad because there's no Batman and no Jim Gordon,
Mhm.
especially being a fan of Gotham. But it seems that the entire show, more than anything, is about Two-Face. So like I would not be surprised if, because they literally could just take this show, rename it Two-Face, and keep it going straight
I
up.
would be down for it. That sounds like
You know what I
madness, and
mean?
I love it.
And then here's the other thing, though. Like, they could also give Robin a spinoff. The way that her mother, did you see the promo that her mother was giving her? Like, oh, Gotham needs its Robin and blah, 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 and all this other thing. Like, that whole thing felt like a setup for, the Cleveland show. You know what I mean? Like,
What?
that's
The
what it felt
Cleveland Brown Show,
like. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it
the
felt like.
black spinoff to the Family Guy.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like. It felt like we're gonna set up something for Robin. And mind you, she deserves it. You know what I mean? Like she's a badass and her mother's badass,
Mhm.
and I would love to see them. Imagine them together, one a doctor, and Robin's coming home with all these people she beat up. Mom, fix them. All right, I got you. You know what I mean? And then her mother's like a Gatsby. Anyway, I'm talking too much, but the show was good. Show was
Show
good.
was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show too. And if you enjoyed this show, don't forget to like and share with all your friends. And join us tomorrow night because we're going to be
Thanks.
talking about episode 2 of Secret
Secret Invasions.
Invasions.
And
Voila, here we are.
yeah,
Oh
so we're
yeah,
gonna be there.
I
We're gonna
won't.
be.
I won't be there, but I'll be there next week, yo, for
All
episode 2.
right. All right. Join us for that.
Yep.
Same
Please.
place, same time, but tomorrow time.
Yep.
Tomorrow time.
And Silhouette, thanks as always for watching. Don't
So what?
if you're into
Yes.
Secret Invasion, join us there tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Look, Secret Invasion is so good. All right, back. Come and
Oh
join.
yeah,
All
we
right.
should
Well,
then
we'll
join
see
us
you.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, holla. All right. Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
guys. Talk to you later.
Bye, folks.